Confidence isn't a feeling, it's a skill. If you're struggling with finding the confidence to approach cute girls and interact with strangers in your day to day and build the dating life and the general life that you really desire, then confidence may be an issue here. And if you're struggling with confidence, you may be struggling with this core concept that you must understand, which is that confidence is not a feeling, it's a skill that you build. Too many guys get hung up on this, waiting for the perfect moment to talk to the girl, the perfect feeling ready, right? How many times have you heard that? I just don't feel ready to approach or interact with this girl. And this completely goes against what you really need to understand to be able to go approach and interact with people and be as confident as possible. To build confidence, that's an actual skill, and it comes from experience in whatever the thing is that you want to be confident in. So if it's approaching, then you have to go out and approach people to build confidence in it. The first approach is going to be intimidating. It is going to feel uncomfortable. But if I gave you an analogy, like a separate way to look at this, let's look at careers. Any new career you jump into or a new job, if you get promoted to be the manager when you're not really ready yet, but you're like 60% there, the first few months are going to be extremely uncomfortable. You're not going to feel confident. You're going to feel really anxious, nervous, shy, imposter syndrome. You're going to feel everything but confident. But then if we flash forward 2 years later, you're going to be super confident in this career, assuming you still have it and you excelled in this position and role that you were given. You're going to be way more confident in yourself at that level because now you have the experience to back up the confidence. But in the first few moments of trying, you're going to feel uncomfortable. And if I gave you a career where there's always going to be uncomfortability, because that discomfort and facing it and overcoming it is what builds confidence. It's what builds the skill to then feel less of that, which people perceive as just confident. It's feeling less uncomfortable. That's what confidence really is, and that comes from experience. So one career where you never really get rid of the discomfort that I've learned is entrepreneurship. When you become an entrepreneur, for example, I'm a dating coach. I'm a men's coach who helps them with social confidence. If that's something you're interested in, then you can schedule a link at the below you can schedule a call with me at the link below to work with me one-on-one. But in this career, I have to sell myself, I have to sell a product, and I have to do it all by myself as an entrepreneur building my own business. And what I've learned is there are super high moments and super low moments. Moments where you feel super confident and amazing when a client gets big results, when you close a big deal. But then there's also low moments where you lose 3 deals or where the clients are feeling frustrated and struggling and you feel like it's your fault. Those uncomfortable feelings that you feel as an entrepreneur, the uncertainty, the anxiety, they never go away. They ebb and flow. There are moments where you feel great and there's moments where you feel bad, and it never goes away. Even entrepreneurs who really have it all figured out, who are super successful, who are making millions a year or hundreds of thousands a month, still feel uncomfortable. They still feel this sense of like, what if I lose it all? Because it's not a normal job where you feel like that sense of security. It's a job that you could lose where the security is not guaranteed. And so that feeling of discomfort, constantly facing it, you have to just get used to it. And getting used to that, that is confidence. That is confidence. So I love this analogy that like confidence is not a feeling that you feel, it's a skill that you build. Now, if we let's bring this back to approaching. So when it comes to approaching, when I made my first approaches, I was not confident. I was very far from confidence. And if you've seen some of my content, you can assume that I'm a pretty confident guy, pretty social guy. But in fact, I was very introverted and very nervous to talk to strangers, let alone cute girls. I'll give you a great example. My first approach ever, I remember, was in Argentina. I was living in Buenos Aires. which is a huge city. It's like New York, but for South America. So there's 15 million people living in this city. There's As I would walk out of my apartment, I would see people everywhere. Cute girls all the time as well. And so I really wanted to go approach somebody. So I challenged myself to just go up to one stranger and ask them for directions to the street that I lived on. So I would just walk around the blocks near my street and just ask for directions to the street I lived on. The first time I made this approach, it took me 2 hours of walking around to be able to ask one person. And it was a guy. It wasn't even a girl. It was a guy sitting down on his phone, all alone. I thought, easy target. It took me 2 hours to meet this guy. 2 hours of walking around. I had blisters, and for the one approach I got, there were hundreds of other opportunities all around me that I just didn't go for at all. Instead, I chickened out and let the anxiety and the uncomfortable feelings win because they were so powerful in that moment. The only way I've been able to get those uncomfortable feelings to dilute and feel weaker and my confidence override them is by continuing to take action every single day and building up from that. Now, I started with something that's kind of hard. Honestly, stopping a stranger and asking for directions to an environment is challenging. If that's too difficult for you, you can knock it back a little bit. So you could start with just giving a compliment to someone as you're passing them. Like, hey, I really like the tattoos. Have a nice day. And that's it. And for a lot of people, that is super hard. So if that is super hard, you can dial it back even further. And you can say, instead of giving a compliment, you can give a greeting. You say, good morning, good afternoon. Hey, how's your day? In passing. So you just keep walking. Hey, how's it going? And that's it. If that is still too hard, there's actually one more thing you could do that's slightly easier, which is just make eye contact. Some people can't make eye contact. So start with making and holding eye contact with a stranger and let them look away first. And if you can do that comfortably to 5 people, then you can build up to the next step, which I just gave you the other steps, building all the way up to then stopping people and asking for directions, which the very next step is stopping girls and doing any of those earlier steps with cute girls. And then the next step is stopping a cute girl and trying to have a conversation with her after being able to ask for directions from cute girls. And that is the step-by-step guide to build confidence so that you're not waiting to feel right. Okay, I know everyone is always waiting for the perfect moment, or the perfect girl. And that is literally why we approach girls who are by themselves in specific environments where we feel comfortable, because we're trying to dilute those feelings as much as possible so that we feel as confident as possible. So we actually make the approach. It's not even about building confidence or getting the girl at that point. It's just about making the approach, eating the rejection if that's what's going to come. You may actually get the girl from that. So I remember one time I was out approaching at a mall, and I walked around for 30 minutes and didn't approach a single person. I saw so many cute girls, and I was getting, there's something in my eye. I was getting frustrated that I saw so many cute girls and wasn't approaching any of them. And then one girl was coming towards me, and I thought, she's kind of cute. She's not really that attractive, but she's kind of cute. I'm going to approach this girl for sure, guaranteed. And I did, and I felt so nervous and shy. And that girl, I ended up interacting with her for over an hour and setting up a date for that night. And over time, then I saw her Instagram and I realized this girl is super attractive. She was just wearing some clothes that like really diluted her attraction, but she was super attractive. And I was like, wow, that worked out so well. I'm going to go home. I'm not going to approach anybody else. Me and that girl didn't work out. But what did happen was I built more confidence in that moment from taking action when I didn't feel comfortable. When I didn't feel confident in myself in that moment, I still took the action. Now, I've given you step-by-step guide. I've told you why this is so important for you to do. You have to have confidence to approach girls. You have to have confidence to be able to interact with strangers and build the dating life and the life that you want in general. If you're not doing this, this isn't just going to affect your dating life. This is going to affect how much money you make. This is going to affect how if you are interacting with someone and having a difficult conversation, have to have confrontation, your confidence in your ability to face the uncomfortable feelings you feel internally about having to have difficult conversations is an important skill to build. You have to be able to face those, to be able to have those conversations, so that conflict doesn't break out that could have been handled with a conversation. Okay? You make more money in your career, go for the life and dreams that you really desire, you have to have confidence. And that confidence is a skill that you build, not a feeling that you feel. So if this is something you're struggling with and you want specific help with this, you can actually work with me one-on-one, and we can take your situation, flip it on its head, and turn your life into the exact life that you're looking for. Specifically, I work with people who are struggling with approach anxiety. So if that's something you're struggling with, schedule a call with me at the link below. Let's talk for about 45 minutes to an hour so I can get a full understanding of your situation, and we can help you make drastic changes in your dating life. Anyway, guys, that's all for this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.